heard of the many opportunities to teach as an English teacher in South Korea? Do you want to know the processes it takes to get a job as an English teacher? Then do it to watch this video to the end. We have a guest who is going to tell us the processes it takes to get a job here as an English teacher, and also you get to learn from my experiences so far. So let's welcome our beautiful guest. Yay! Okay, so please may we know you?
Hi, my name is Minette. I am an English teacher in Korea. I have been here for 3 years now, and I work at an English academy.
Pleased to meet you. Why did you choose to come to Korea? Why Korea?
So,
All the way from South Africa.
I've always wanted to work overseas from a young age. And originally, I actually wanted to go to Japan.
Oh,
but
you just have a thing for Asian countries?
Yes, I do. I love Asian culture. It's just so different from Western culture.
Okay.
So I wanted to go to Japan, but Japan is very expensive. Cost of living in Japan is expensive. But Korea does have a reputation of being hard to find work in. And so at first I was very hesitant to apply for work in Korea.
Okay, so since you already mentioned that it's hard to apply, so can you please tell us in details for someone who is planning to, maybe you're preparing your application, you want to come here to teach, can you tell us in details what the person needs to gather and the process it takes and all of that?
Before I actually applied, I knew there's some documentation that you needed to get, and some of it does take a very long time to get. I'm not sure about what documents you need for other countries, but for South Africa, I do know that you need a police clearance. Now, a police clearance takes at least 6 weeks, up until like almost 8 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 months. Then you also need your degree. They recommend that you also have a TEFL certificate. TEFL or TESOL. So TEFL is teach English as a foreign language, and TESOL is teach English as a second language.
Okay.
I think if you have a teaching job before you come, you do not need TEFL or TESOL, but some recruitment agencies do require that you have a TEFL or TESOL or a year experience in teaching. When you have your criminal record check, you also need to get that certified. You need an original copy of your degree and your transcript, which you both need. You need to just certify both of them.
So it's not enough to have the transcripts like the ordinary documents, you need to certify them.
Well, when you get your degree, you get your transcript with it.
Okay.
So you go to the government offices and you just take both of them, and then they certify. It is best to, I think you also have to make copies of it. It's best to just copy everything 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, very necessary.
Yeah.
Any document at all.
Once you have your documents certified, then there are different ways that you can apply for a job in Korea. So you can have maybe a family friend or just a general friend, someone that has already come, and they can help you find work here. That's one option. Or you can come with a recruitment agency. So there are some individual recruiters that's currently living in South Africa and that did teach here in the past, and so maybe they have some contact.
So how do you get such agents?
So you can just go like online. Usually if you start asking around, there's a lot of people that actually have someone that they know has gone to teach.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Okay.
A lot, yeah.
So it's more like your contacts.
Yeah, sometimes contacts. I didn't use a contact.
Oh.
I looked online.
Okay, I was about to ask, can't you just check online and get this?
You can check online. And so I found a number of companies, but you hear these terrible stories about scams, people coming to Korea or to Japan or somewhere else, and then they have to get sent back home because it wasn't an actual, thing. So I came with Teach SL Korea.
Teach ESL Korea.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sent them a message, an email, and they replied very fast. I thought it was going to take like a week or so, and I was really stressed because everyone has these opinions about how hard it is to find work here. But within a week, I was already busy doing interviews, and I had 2 possible schools to teach at within 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And I had my contract, and everything was ready like within 2 weeks. So once you have a school that is happy with you, you have to send all of the documentation that you have gathered, you have to send to Korea. Also, you have to include passport photos.
Okay.
I think you need like 5 passport photos. They are quite strict with their passport photos. Like you have to have your shoulders in and your ears have to show. So once you send your documents to Korea, it takes a few days for them to get, then it takes 5 days for them to send it to immigration in Korea, and then they get a number back from immigration. They send that number to you. So once you receive the code from Korea, then you have to go to the Korean embassy in wherever is closest, and then you get your visa back. So to get to Korea, you need obviously a plane ticket. So at that point, I wasn't able to buy my own plane ticket, but with your contract, you should be able to get 1 plane ticket.
Okay.
So you can have the option of either taking the money. If you can buy your own ticket, then at the end of your contract, you can get the money from the ticket, or you can request that they purchase the ticket for you.
So you're saying that by right, the contract should cover your plane ticket?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, by right, they have to cover you. And if they don't purchase the ticket for you, they have to reimburse you for the ticket.
Later.
Yeah, later.
So speaking of contracts, can you tell us what makes up your contract?
So my contract includes accommodation, and they pay half of my tax, half of my medical insurance, and my accommodation should have full amenities. So it should have a kitchen, it should have a bathroom. Some contracts offer you bigger housing, other places are smaller. It really depends on the school that you teach at.
Well, how about feeding? You feed yourself?
That depends from school to school, but yes, you pay for your own food.
Transportation?
Some schools include transportation. Most of the time they try to find accommodation that's close to the school.
Okay.
So preferably you want something that's at least like within a 10-minute walk or a 10-minute bus drive. I'm not so sure about EPIC contracts.
Okay. What's EPIC?
So EPIC is a governmental program where they connect you to other schools, governmental schools. So as I mentioned earlier, I teach in an academy, which is a hagwon, and English hagwon is just an after-school program. So in Korea, they have a lot of after-school classes.
So this is different from the regular school programs?
Yes, this is an extra that parents
like an
pay
extra
for.
lesson.
Yeah, it's not compulsory, but it's the Korean way. So EPIC is a program that you apply for. Contracts work a little bit different. So as a hagwon teacher, I could request that I go to wherever I want to go. So if there is a city that you want to go to, like if you want to teach in Seoul, then you can request that you teach there. Although Seoul is the #1 hotspot for teaching, so it might be difficult for a new teacher to start teaching there. If you do have any teaching experience, current teaching experience, then you might be able to find a place in Seoul. But with EPIC, the program tells you where you have to go to, and oftentimes you don't just teach at one school, sometimes you teach at multiple schools.
Do you need to know how to speak Korean in order to teach?
No, you don't need to speak Korean. I know 10 words in Korean. My academy has flashcards. We have a video that they watch, and then we use the video to explain some things. So they watch a story, then they have like flashcards that they have to learn, and then from that you kind of build up.
I'm guessing you're not really dealing with people that just started learning English for the first time. Because
No, a lot, because some of them already learn at kindergarten.
I want to take you back a little bit. What do you expect in your interview?
I had 2 phone call interviews and I had a Skype interview as well. And then there was another interview that was just messaging with another girl that's here. So some companies require that you have an introduction video. I was busy making my introduction video when they started sending me interviews. So the one that I had was a Skype interview for almost like 45 minutes to an hour. I had a few of them, 2 or 3 of them. And then you just...
So what kind of questions do you expect?
Oh, they ask you questions like, do you have any teaching experiences? What do you know of Korean culture? Do you know Korean food?
Oh.
Because the food it's quite different.
Yeah.
Just like basic, what things do you like to do? Like normal interview questions.
Oh.
But yeah.
So it's not something you need to
No.
study for?
No, not really. Obviously, you need to prep for it. You need to prepare and have some answers ready if they ask you some questions, like what hobbies do you have, or like, of course, you should try and kind of navigate it so that everything is related to teaching.
Okay.
And
that's
then,
a good tip there.
Yeah.
Because if you're asked what's your hobby and you say something like, what would I say, sleeping or what?
Yeah, don't say sleeping. Koreans are very hardworking. I'm trying to give one constructive hobby, like
reading,
and then I don't know,
playing with kids.
playing with kids.
Because it helps.
Yeah. So I didn't have any teaching experience before I came to Korea, but I do have a lot of nephews and nieces. And so in the interviews, if they ask me questions about kids or something, I could relate to that via my nieces and nephews. So any experiences that you have with kids, it can help.
Okay.
Yeah, you should bring that up in the interview.
Okay, so far we've been talking about the processes it takes to get a job as an English teacher in South Korea. And if you've been gaining knowledge from this, please do it to click on that like button and subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and do it to turn on your post notifications so you'll be notified whenever I post any video. You dislike about your work.
It's hard to discipline them sometimes. Like ruler, and then they smack their hands with it.
Oh.
Like I've heard of people that do that.
Is that allowed?
Not as a foreigner.